Do you take Seroquel for bipolar disorder or are just curious about it? I have 10 years of experience taking it for bipolar 1. Here to talk about my love-hate relationship with Seroquel, otherwise known as Quetiapine. I'm Jess with Our Bipolar. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, just a little bit about me. I have bipolar 1 and I was diagnosed 27 years ago when I was a sophomore in college. Today, I am going through some trials and tribulations with Seroquel, which I've been taking for quite a while. And I just wanted to talk about the drug a little bit and just talk about what I've been going through with it. Just a little bit of background about Quetiapine, which is the generic name for Seroquel. And up front, I am not a doctor. I am not a healthcare provider in any way. I'm just someone who has a lot of lived experience with bipolar disorder and with Seroquel. Okay, so Seroquel is an atypical antipsychotic. So it's in the second generation of antipsychotics. The first generation are the older antipsychotics like Haldol and Thorazine. You may have heard of those. Sorry, I'm in my car, there's a little noise. Those first generation antipsychotics tend to have more side effects, but as you'll see, there can still be a lot of side effects with these second generation antipsychotics. I've taken Seroquel for about 10 years. When I started taking it, I only took it as needed. Like if I was starting to go into mania or hypomania, I would add it on. And I also take lithium, and I've been taking lithium for about 18 years. So let's talk about some of the side effects you can experience with Quetiapine, Seroquel. I have not experienced all of them. I think one of the biggest side effects I've experienced is weight gain from the increased appetite. I know for me at least, I tend to have sugar cravings, especially in the evening. It can be really severe. And I went through a period of time when I was on increased Seroquel that I would have an ice cream sundae every single night. Yeah, and it went on for a couple months, so that was pretty bad. I gained about 30 pounds. And I have a video on that if you want to see. I'll link it right up here and also down in the description box. The other big side effect is sleepiness, tiredness, lethargy. I am so going through that right now. It is pretty brutal. So I've been on some increased Seroquel over the last month or so. Just had a lot of really stressful times going on in my life. A lot of stress having to do with family members and just, people struggling, and that's hard. It's hard to witness, and then just going through my own struggles with bipolar. So I was starting to feel some hypomania after I went through a few weeks of depression in October. This is all under my doctor's care. My doctor tells me to do this. He asked me to increase my Seroquel, and so I did, but now I'm to the point where I think I probably need to reduce it again because I'm getting so tired. It's incredibly hard to get up in the morning, just going through the day today. This is my 4th cup of coffee today. I do not recommend that much caffeine for pretty much anyone, especially not someone who has bipolar disorder. I mean, caffeine can bring on mania symptoms for some of us, but I had to get through the day. I don't ever plan on having this much caffeine again, but I am scared to go back down on the Seroquel because I'm afraid of the hypomania. I'm just not sure I can handle everything that's going on in my life. I know there are people, I haven't had this side effect, but there are people who have had movement disorders because of Seroquel and other antipsychotics. So tardive dyskinesia, I know that can happen. Tardive dyskinesia can come on even more so if you're on something like Seroquel and then you reduce it quickly instead of, going down slowly. I don't know if that's the only reason you can get it. I think you could probably get it outside of doing that. And I also know that Seroquel comes in 2 forms. So it can be like the immediate release, which is what I take. And there's also Seroquel XR, which is extended release. And I have never taken the extended release. Also, I should mention, I'm talking about Seroquel use only for bipolar disorder. You know, that's what I've used it for. But of course, it can be used for schizophrenia. Makes sense, right? It's an antipsychotic. Also, I've heard that it can be used for depression and also can be used off-label for anxiety. Now, I do, you know, have some pretty high anxiety at times, and I know my psychiatrist has said, you know, can increase it slightly if I'm really having a lot of anxiety, especially because for me, anxiety can feed into hypomania and push me into hypomania. It's a love-hate relationship because I really rely on Seroquel to keep me out of mania and hypomania. I still go into hypomania, but I have not had mania for like almost 20 years. Like since I got on the lithium and then I needed something extra, got on the Seroquel. So I do love Seroquel in a lot of ways. And it's hard to say that right now because I feel so exhausted and nearly comatose because of it. It is so sedating, but that's sort of why it works and why I'm so glad I have it. I mean, I know for me and for a lot of people with bipolar disorder, sleep is so important for keeping me stable and keeping me out of mania and hypomania. The Seroquel gives you the sleep. It definitely will do that. And I take Seroquel at a pretty low dose because I am so sensitive to all medications, not just bipolar meds. I've always been this way since I was a kid. But if I increase it slightly under my doctor's care, it will help me get that sleep that I need and usually either keep me out of hypomania or just like reduce the length of time I'm in it, because I tend to be one of those people who, if I go into an episode like hypomania, it's gonna last a month or more. It's not just gonna be a week, you know, it's gonna be pretty long. It's tough to know how much you need, and you know, I think a typical dose of Seroquel is probably much more than I take. I know people that take in the hundreds of milligrams every single day for Seroquel. Some people take it on its own. Some people take it as an add-on to another mood stabilizer like I do with lithium. Heard of people saying it actually did not work well for them. I know of someone who said that they actually lost a lot of weight on Seroquel. They had to go off it. It's not for everyone, that's for sure, but I'm glad I have it, although I hate it sometimes. Today was a rough day, trying to just get through the day, feeling so sedated on it. That doesn't mean I'm going to try to get off it. It's just, it is what it is. I'd love to hear your experiences on Seroquel, especially, you know, if you take it for bipolar disorder, but also if you take it for something else like anxiety, schizophrenia, depression. I'd love to hear how it works for you. Do you have a love-hate relationship with it? Do you just have a love relationship with it? Or maybe like the hate relationship with it? Because I've heard of people who feel that way too. All right, well, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.